Okay, hi. Well, it's time to get started. I hope that you enjoyed that bit of music that we had beforehand. That's Formidable Vegetable. Um, I think they're awesome, and it really put me in the right mood to get started. Welcome. Glad you can join me in this workshop. My name is Bronwyn Chompff-Gliddon. I am the founder and director of Evertrue Solutions, and I help small business owners to be more sustainable and viable, and we achieve this through permaculture. I've packed a ton of really valuable information into this workshop, and so we don't have a moment to lose. So we'll get right into it. I am recording this workshop, as you heard just then when I got it going, and you can request access to this if you want to go over it later on. And we've got people coming in. Now this is an interactive discussion. I've got you on mute at the moment, but you're welcome to raise a hand. You're welcome to use the chat box. Welcome to ask questions. I really love interaction. I don't like the monologue so much. So please let me know what you're thinking. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them as we go. Now, I offer these free workshops as a way to provide value to small business owners, and at the same time build an audience to present the services that I offer. So I mean, there's no hard sell, but I will take a moment later on to just present what it is that I do, and it might be something that you find useful, and if not, it doesn't matter. I hope you enjoy the workshop. So we are getting your costing and pricing right the first time. Even if you've been running your business for a while, if you're not really seeing the financial return from it that you're expecting, maybe it's time to look a little closer. This approach looks at all the numbers that we need to incorporate into your pricing so that you can make money doing what you love, and all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it will be worthwhile. One of the main problems that I've seen, especially in this community of permaculture or just nature-loving people, is a tendency to be a bit too modest and altruistic. And I mean, it's not a bad thing to be modest or altruistic, or even to wish for this perfect socialist society where we don't need money at all. But the reality is that we do need money, and we do live in this present society. And where the earth provides such an abundance of everything that we need, we have the opportunity to have an abundance of wealth too. And it won't even turn us into capitalist pigs or anything like that. I just realized I still had my screen share on. So, okay. Before becoming a business coach, I ran a bookkeeping business for many years. I've been incredibly blessed to have received a great depth of experience in dealing with small businesses of all kinds. And without blowing my own horn, I am a really good bookkeeper, and understanding the numbers just came very naturally, and my brain was just wired like that. But it means that I've seen how powerful it is for you to know your numbers. And the key to securing your business viability is to know your numbers. You need to know how it all breaks down. You need to know, like zoom out and see the bigger picture of where your business is going. And it's something that everyone has the ability to know and understand. And when you're running a business, it's critical that you are on top of this. Using a template like this, the one that we're going to go through today, it has all the formulas in there all ready to do all the hard work for you. It makes the job of getting your pricing right the first time a lot easier. And you can get your head around this, even if you've typically struggled with maths, and that does not stop you from understanding your business. Now, what this means for you is that you can have confidence in your business and your ability to provide for your family. Once the income is sorted, you won't stress about the bills. You can build your business to what you want it to be, and you choose what success looks like to you. And you can track your growth on a chart to be able to really see that success. And with that growth comes your ability to make a positive impact. your business can be the vehicle that you use to be a force for good and everything that's important for you. I've written an article about this, which then inspired this workshop to demonstrate how it works. You may have read it, but I'm just going to drop a link to this in the chat box, just so that if you haven't read it, you can open it up and put it to the side and read it later on. Okay. So why is it so important to get your costing and pricing right? Okay, this is where I'm going to share again. Share screen. Yes, I got that right. So you're seeing a picture of water tanks. Okay. So the analogy that I used in the article that I've just shared is that of a water tank. You need a certain amount of water to survive for yourself, your animals, your plants, and those who live without mains water know what it's like when the water tank starts to get a bit low. Consider that your business is the same. When you're out working, charging your hourly rate for what you do, it's raining and money is coming into the business and you're collecting all of this finance. And then you pay bills and money goes out, just like when you turn the tap on your water tank. So if the money going out of your business is more than the money coming in, you can see that what happens in a water tank, you're eventually going to run out. It doesn't matter how big your tank is, you're eventually going to run out. That is not sustainable. So it is okay to have more water or money than you absolutely need, just to scrape by. When you have more than enough water, your plants thrive, the produce is so much better. And with your business, you've got enough money, you can keep your head above water, but you also have that buffer to survive when, gives you that resilience for when lean times come along, because they do come along. And so it's good to have that cushion to get through those times. Just as you would with a water tank, you need a supply of water to get you through those dry times. And we're heading into summer now, when we know we're going to come into some dry times. So now, as we go through this workshop, you've got your camera and your microphone off, but I still know you're there. And you should have your template document open that I sent to you yesterday and this morning. And just in case you don't have it or you didn't get it or anything like that, I'm just going to, I open up the chat box and it goes away again as soon as I turn the screen sharing off. Okay, there's the link for the spreadsheet. Now, can I just get a reaction from everyone just to let me know that you've got it open, or let me know if you have any problems? Just, maybe give a thumbs up or something like that. Maybe I will stop screen sharing. So I've got a thumbs up from Patricia. Thank you very much. And just before we get into it, I just want to know that everyone has it on. If Doreen and Susie, if you put your thumbs up, it's gone out. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. But yeah, let me know if you've got it open. Well, we know Patricia's got it open. Okay. So open it, and then before you get started, click on File and then click on Make a Copy to save it to your own Google Drive if you're doing that. Or the email that I sent out this morning, I also gave you an offline version, either as a XLSX or an ODS, which is for Windows compatible programs. Such as like OpenOffice, like what I use, or there's a couple of other programs that are compatible to Windows, but yeah, so that file type is for those. Okay. Now, all right, so we're good to go. Now, you're completing this template as we work through it. If you've got any questions, let me know. Raise your hand or type a question. So as we go, we're going to be putting in some numbers. And what I want you to do is, if you don't know the exact number right now, it's okay. Just put in your best guess, your best estimate. And you can confirm it later on and come back and refine it a bit later. So the number one reason for you to complete this pricing exercise and periodically review it is to make sure that your business is and remains viable. You want your business to be sustainable so that it can be a long-term and dependable source of income for your family. But getting to that point is a bit like riding a bike uphill. So, if you stop pedaling, even though you're not doing anything specifically wrong, gravity takes over and you'll roll back down the hill. So there is no standing still in business. A plateau is a myth. You're either going forwards or backwards. And if you feel like you're stuck or you don't know how to move forward, then I hate to be the one to tell you, but you're actually going backwards. Using this pricing worksheet will make sure that everything is accounted for and gives you a definite and realistic target to aim for. When your numbers are taken care of, your business is taken care of. You can get your head around this and you can do it right. Working with someone like me will help you learn what you need so that you are in charge of your business and where it goes. As much as I love to be self-reliant and self-sufficient, no one can do this all on their own. No one is an expert in everything. We all need people to support us, even me. So get someone on your side who knows what to look out for, someone who resonates with what's really important to you. All right, so we're going to get started into completing this, and we go back to the screen sharing, and I'm going to bring up the spreadsheet on the screen here. So we can all see that. Okay, just very quickly. The calculator is a quick assessment of your financial viability. It's a tool that will give you an indication. I might just bring it. No, I'm good. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself here. It'll give you an indication of whether or not you're on track to meet your financial obligations for your business as well as for your family. If you want something a bit more comprehensive, a bit more specific, you can get in touch with me or your favorite professional advisor. And the accuracy of this projection depends entirely on the quality of the figures that you put into the calculations. Ask me if you have any questions at all. So this projection has been prepared for a sole trader service-based business where the business owner charges an hourly rate for their services. If it's any kind of situation, like if you're a company, if you're a product-based business, if you do products and services, or if you have employees doing the work that you're charging out, the projection is going to be a little bit different, but it's very easy for me to just quickly modify and give you one that's a bit more appropriate for you. But if you're a sole trader charging an hourly rate, then we're good to go. So we're going to go through each of the tabs that are along the bottom there. So we complete figures in the colored cells. The rest of it has been locked. I don't know if that has transferred across when you saved it, but I've locked it so that you can't change it on this copy that you first accessed. But in the colored cells, yes, you can, type away and edit as whatever you need. We go through all the sections and then we get to the viability test. And then there's a further exercise to compare your charge out rate with say, hiring someone to do that for you. Now, just as a disclaimer, I am not a tax or financial advisor. This calculator has been provided as an indicator of financial viability. It doesn't constitute any kind of tax or financial advice. I have to say that by law. So now, first we'll go to the personal expenses tab. Your personal budget. This is what you need to make to make sure that, you know, your life is catered for. So you can see there's all of these activities, all these categories down on the left-hand side, and then you've got the different frequencies. You know, you would go shopping once a week. So let's say we need about, oh, hang on, no, needed to put number lock on. Say we have $300 in groceries. And then you can see here, automatically works out the total of, that's $15,600 a year. Activities, sports and hobbies. Well, I'm going to say my daughter's hockey, and my that's about 300, not quarterly, that she just plays that. That's about 300 a year for my daughter's hockey. And then my other daughter plays, she does kickboxing, and that's $45 a fortnight. And then I'll you know, allocate, say, maybe about $200 a month to other sort of activities and hobbies. Clothing and shoes, my goodness, girls grow so quickly. But we'll say about $100 a month. Just have something there that's covered. Electricity and gas. If you've got solar panels, that shouldn't be too much. Thankfully, we're going into summer now. Let's see, mine. I just got mine. My last electricity bill was $86. I was super happy with that. And that was every 2 months. So I'm going to say $50 for that. Furniture, household. This is less frequent. Like as far as furniture, you might buy a new piece of furniture once a year. But general sort of household stuff, you figure it out. I'm just going to drop in, say, $300 a year. Just say something's covered. Garden and property. Well, I do a lot more in the garden. But, you know, I love how so much you can just get for nothing. Like, you know, I pull weeds up and use that in my compost, because I love how everything is good for something. And even weeds, you know, you put them through the hot composting process, they're still good. So garden property, I'm just going to chuck in $50 a month. Gifts and holidays, right? We've got Christmas, you've got birthdays, you've got going away on holiday. You know, it can be whatever number you say it is. I'm just going to drop $1,000 a year just to cover everything, just for the second side. Household insurance. What would that be? I don't like insurance, so I try not to think about it. Let's say, would that be appropriate? I don't know. Medical and dental. Well, all right. So I'm just going to drop in a little bit there. Mortgage or rent? Well, yes. All right. So it's probably, I'll go with that. Motor vehicle, fuel. All right. So if your motor vehicle is used, like, well, motor vehicle comes up again in the business expenses. And so it depends. Do you use your car for running your business? If you have a separate vehicle that's entirely 100% used for business, or if you claim 100% of your business expenses because you've got a logbook showing that, then save it for the next one. But if you use your motor vehicle, if you use your car for regular stuff, just personal stuff, then put it all in here. So fuel, that's say like $50 a week. Insurance, I don't really have car insurance because I don't believe in insurance. Registration, for me, that's quarterly. That's about, say, $105 a quarter. Servicing and repairs, that's quarterly. That's about $400. If you have credit card payments or personal loans, put in what the repayments are. Weekly, fortnightly, monthly. So I'm just going to drop in, for the sake of this exercise, about $100 a month for a personal loan. Pets and animals. I've got my dog Rocky here sleeping beside me. Yes, well, what animals cost. We'll put another $200 a month there. Phone and internet. Well, internet is say about $100 and my phone is about $60 a month. Okay. Rates and taxes. That's a killer, isn't it? I go with the quarterly payment option, and that's still a killer. And then the water as well, which comes at exactly the same time as the rates. But that's another, yeah. If you have any, sorry, I've skipped down. All right, so recreation, entertainment. Do you like going out to concerts? Do you like going out for dinner? How much do you allocate for that each month or quarter? School, training, education. I have such a rock solid faith in the public school system. But still, there's still costs. So we'll say, my girl, it's $400. Subscriptions, so your Netflix or your Spotify or, whatever it is, I'm just going to put in 50. I've got a couple there. Transport, if you use public transport or parking comes up regularly. If you're in a place that has tolls, then you put it in there. So with this, we've got personal budget per year. For me, this is just based on me and my little family of me and my two girls, $61,000. Okay, so I'll give you a moment to keep working on this if you need it. But before we get to the next step, I just wanted to take a minute to share with you. Sorry, let me just stop that screen sharing. And I just wanted to share with you how I came to be here today, talking about, sustainability and viability for small businesses. So you can keep working if you need to while I tell this little story. But if not, then, listen along. It won't take long. But I would like to share how I used to be a regular person, just like any next door neighbor. I was running a tidy little bookkeeping business, which was the same name, by the way, Evertree Business Solutions. But that was when I was being a bookkeeper, and I was contributing my little bit to the family income. And then I got this idea about 10 years ago that I can do something more. I can offer more to my clients. And so I'm pursuing the options available to me, and I'm trying and failing at lots of different things, like an online course to help people who would say, I'm not a numbers person, to help them get their head around the numbers. It was a really good concept, but I just couldn't make it work. And then there was like this research study into being organized and productive. And, again, good concept, but it just wasn't quite working and nothing seemed to fit. It was insanely frustrating. Have you ever felt something like that? I was really stuck. And then 4 years ago, my husband of 24 years just left. Out of the blue, with no warning, and just almost overnight, I was destroyed, abandoned, betrayed, broken. I'm not the first person to go through a breakup, and sadly, I won't be the last. Perhaps you know someone who's been through it too. And if you've been through it too, then you know what it's like, and I feel your pain. My husband and my 4 kids were my whole world. But his departure, as it turned out, was just what I needed. It was as necessary as it is to break a few eggs to make a cake, or how a seed needs to break apart to sprout. It was a new beginning, and I got to discover who I really am in a way that I had never really done before. So as I'm putting myself back together, this quest to make a living is now a lot more urgent, and that's when I discovered coaching. So signing up to learn how to be a coach was the single most emotional business decision I'd ever made. I knew I just had to do it. I took action. I used my mortgage payment money to pay the deposit on this training. And I instantly burst into tears because I was just as terrified as I was inspired and motivated. Have you ever taken that leap of faith with something to just jump into the unknown and just brace yourself? I thought it cost too much. I thought I couldn't afford it, but I committed to it anyway. And I found the money. And that decision was the start of this wonderful, beautiful journey. So the process to learn how to become a coach means that you go through the whole coaching process yourself. And for me, that process was one of healing and self-discovery and identity and forgiveness and growth and love and vision. It was infinitely exactly what I needed right at that time. And it completely strengthened both my faith in God and everything that was important to me. And I healed so much that I remarried in December 2020. So now the coaching process put me back in touch with my self, my 6-year-old self, who was at that time completely in love with the earth and all of nature. And I guess growing up, I'd always been a hippie at heart, but now it's front and center. And I've always had this deep reverence for the earth and a profound gratitude that everything that human needs for health and happiness comes from the earth. So now I'm working as a coach, and given my background in small business support, it made sense to me to be a business coach. Only I had this passion for living in harmony with the earth, and it felt like my profession wasn't completely aligned with my passion. Have you ever felt that kind of disconnect where you don't know what's wrong, but something's just a bit off? It's a bit like having a stone in your shoe that you just can't budge. So in my journey to discover my nature-loving self, that's when I literally stumbled onto permaculture. And hang on, let me just bring this up now. So I signed up to do a PDC without even knowing what it was. I was just told by someone, oh, you need to do a PDC. I said, what's that? It's a permaculture design certificate. And I just knew I had to do it to be true to my authentic self. And when I completed that course, every moment of every module of that training reinforced to me that this is what I've been wanting to do my whole life. I just never knew what it was called. But it's permaculture. Permaculture is a design framework that harnesses the power and the balance and beauty of nature to benefit human life. It uses the wisdom of ancient cultures to work with nature, not against it, and it strives to live in harmony with the earth and maintain the natural order of things. Permaculture starts with growing your own food, but the concepts, the principles, the ethics, and the philosophies apply to every aspect of life and society, including livelihood and running a business. So I began to see the business wisdom that can be found in these permaculture principles. And I developed this understanding to help small business owners, just like you, to run your business the way Mother Nature would want you to. And so this is it. This is the connection I needed to make to really move forward as both a business coach and a permaculture activist. I can use the platform of business coaching to spread the movement of permaculture and make a really positive impact in the world we live in. So I have now dedicated my life and my career to promoting the movement towards sustainability in the small business sector through permaculture business coaching, developing permaculture business plans, sustainability assessments, and just helping one little business at a time to achieve balance and harmony, self-sufficiency, and fulfillment, which basically to me is sustainability. So I am a bridge between business and permaculture to work towards sustainability and viability. Viability is running a business well so that it is a long-term and dependable source of income for your family, without burning out, without losing your personal life, without the trial and error that you stumble on until you stumble on to the right answer, just doing it right the first time. Sustainability is running a business well so that it's kind to the environment, making a positive impact and turning the tide of the collective impact of small business on the environment. I really love how this understanding of permaculture, combined with my experience in small business support, has provided this opportunity to help you create a truly sustainable business. So now we're back looking at the projection. We're going to bring back the projection and we're going to move over to the business costs. Okay, now, if some of these categories don't apply to your business, it's okay, just skip it. We'll just work with where your business is right now. So, accounting and consulting. My accountant, I have a really lovely accountant. He's wonderful, but he still charges me about $1,000 a year to do my tax return. Administration. So that would be perhaps your accounting software. For me, that's I think it's about, it's gone up. Let's say $30 a month for my Xero subscription. I think it might be a bit more, maybe 32. Advertising and marketing, well, that depends on where you're at. You know, if you're just starting, your advertising and marketing is going to be bigger. But if you've been around for a while and you've got repeat business, you've got word of mouth going, you're going to be advertising your business a little less. But for this exercise, let's just go with, say, $200 a month for advertising. Bank and merchant fees. Let's just put in, say, just a token, $10 to cover bank fees. If you use Square or something like that to, you know, be able to charge credit cards or anything, it's a certain percentage. But you'll know what that is for you. Business registration. So if you have a business name, is I think a couple $100 every couple of years. So let's just go $100 a year. It's a bit more if you have a company. Equipment. And so if you've purchased equipment, we don't want the total purchase price. We would just want, if you have like monthly repayments. Let's say you have equipment and you're paying it off at, say, $300 a month. Now, repairs and maintenance on your equipment, $800 a month. So it's something's there in this example. Insurance. Insurance is, so at a minimum, you would need to have your broad form sort of public liability insurance, which is very reasonable from a lot of places. I think mine's $25 a month. Licenses and affiliations. If you have a trade, you know, like plumbers and electricians, they need to constantly maintain their license. And if you're affiliated with a particular authority, then there would be costs with that as well. This example is fairly generic, but I'm going to put in an annual license or affiliation fee of $100. Memberships. Yeah, well, I've got a couple. I belong to a couple of organizations that align with me, and so I'm just going to put in, say, $100 a year. Luckily, they're very cost effective. All right, so here we've got fuel, and so if your vehicle is used 100% for business purposes, you would put all of that in here. I put all of mine in the personal one, so I'm going to leave that one blank. Oops, that's a furphy. That's a blunder. All right, so instead of personal loan, that should say business loan. I apologize for that little mix up there. Oops. Let's say $100 a month. Printing, stationery, postage. Luckily, these days, we don't need to use as much stationery as we have in the past because we're not printing, you know, we're doing everything by email and online, but we still do need something. So I'm just going to put $100 every 3 months in there. Professional development, training costs. Yeah, me, I need to always keep my skills sharp. So now rent, if you're not working from it, if you are working from home, you've covered the rent in your personal. If you may hire a little space somewhere, I know a lot of people actually have like co-working spaces, and so that's a professional, like a business expense for them. So let's say that there's one of those here, which, you know, is not terribly much. I've gone with $100 a month. And subscriptions, again, so that's any magazines, any you know, anything that is particularly relevant to your business. I'll just chuck in $50 a month there. Telephone, it's a separate to your personal. And yeah, if you've already included it in your personal, then just leave it here. Uniform and protective clothing. I like to, you love my lovely business shirts. The shirts were actually cheaper than the actual embroidery because I got them at a bargain. But let's say, we'll say $200 a year for, you know, keeping your protective clothing and uniform nice and fresh. Website, that's a bit more. I'm going to go with $400 for the hosting and all that other stuff. Okay, so that's the business costs per year. And then we're going to jump straight into the net profit. Okay, here we have from the personal budget sheet, you've got 61,410, and then you've got business costs of 16,904, giving you so far a target income of $78,000. But if you aim to make just enough to cover your costs, how is your business going to grow? It takes money to make money. And so you need to give yourself that buffer. And even if you're not in it for the money, I get that, I really do. But I'm going to go with a minimum of 10% net profit. You know, maybe you could be aiming for like 20%, but at an absolute minimum, you need to show a net profit because, well, remember, there's still tax. So as a sole trader, you're taxed on the total income less the business expenses. And this calculator will not represent any of the potential tax for your personal or business or anything like that. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax advisor. So talk to your accountant to further clarify how much you need to be making to cover tax and then adjust accordingly. All of this is not taking into account tax. So just be aware of that. All right. Maybe I'll just the 20. Okay. That shows that you would be looking at making a net profit of $15,000 to come to a total target income of $93,976. That's to cover the business expenses, your personal expenses, the tax, and giving your business a buffer of funds to be able to further grow. Okay, now let's look at the service that you offer. What is the core service that you offer? In this section, we're just describing how you're going. I just realized that, yeah, if someone had typed a question or raised a hand, I was not going to see it because when I do my screen sharing, everything changes here on Zoom, but that's okay. Are there any questions at all so far going through this? If not, we're good. And what we can do is, now I'm going to just do what I do. You do what you do. So click here. Okay. Brief description of what you do, what you offer, and how many years have you been doing this? For me, with coaching, I've been doing that for 4 years. But you know, my years of business experience, that's 20 years. Qualifications and certificates. You know, I've got my PVC, I've got my coaching certificate. Oh, help if you spell it right. And you know, they don't come cheap, as you know. So whatever qualifications and certificates, that is an asset that you've paid out money to obtain, and that asset should be represented in the prices that you're charging out. Now we look at what are your competitors charging. I know a business coach who charges $300 an hour. I was actually told by a business coach just actually last month that, oh, you're too cheap. You should be charging $2,000 a session. I've gone, get out. No. That's what he charges. And, you know, that's his target market. That's what he's getting. Good for him. That's not me. You know, what is it for you? What in your field of what you do, you need to know what other people are charging. There needs to be I guess, a typical expected standard. So I'm going to go in the middle there. Okay. Now, what is your hourly charge out rate? This is where you enter. I'm going to enter mine like for a for just like a I'm going to go through it soon, but the different services that I offer. But for now, I'm just going to say coaching is $165 a session. And there's that. So here we go. Over to the viability test. Now, based on the personal budget, the business costs, and the intended net profit, you have a total annual target income of $93,000, as we talked about before. And your intended charge out rate is this. It'll be different for you. You will need to work that many hours to meet your target, which equates to that many hours per month and that many hours per week. Is that achievable? Yes? Fantastic. Well done. Congratulations. And if no, go back to the charge out rate, or you know, all the other worksheets that we've developed going up to this, and adjust it to make it more to make it work. Now, if we go back here, so I know a diesel mechanic charges $100 an hour. So I'm not saying you're a diesel mechanic, but that's the charge out rate. And I know a landscape gardener, and they charge $75 an hour. And so if we look at that, you can see how it changes each time, depending on what you charge. You know, it depends on you, on the market, what your needs are, what your availability is. And then you can go from there and see, is this on track? And if you can look at that and say, I can do that, yeah, then yes, okay, that is your viability. Okay, so I really hope that you're getting some value from the workshop so far. As I mentioned earlier, I'd really be honored to have an opportunity to explore how I can help you in your business. Thank you for the thumbs up, Patricia. Now, did you have a question, or that's just a good to go? So, oh, I'm sorry, what just happened then? Oh, Patricia, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So I would like to have an opportunity to explore how I can help you in your business. So there's a couple of programs that I offer, and I'm just going to run through them really quickly, just so you're aware of what it is that I do. And so we go back to screen sharing and we pick that one. So I run an online mastermind group. This is a once a month Zoom call with a group of up to 12 people. It's facilitated by me and we follow a coaching process, but it's in a group setting. And in this group, you can also connect with other business owners who share your values, and you can bounce ideas and problems. You can brainstorm solutions and really be part of a group that's focused on assisting your business as you reciprocate and focus on helping theirs. There's 3 groups, and I'm just about to start this up starting next month. So the first group is on a Monday, and we meet the first Monday of every month. So this is starting from the 6th of November. And then the second one is the second Tuesday of each month, starting at 6 p.m. Sorry, did I say the Monday is at 9 a.m. in Perth time. The second Tuesday of each month, that's starting at 6 p.m. And then there's the third Friday of each month, starting at 12 p.m. And so you may be available during, for the morning, or maybe you're not available at all during work days, but you can do the evenings. And then maybe sometimes on a Friday, you like to just, thank goodness it's Friday, and take the rest of the afternoon off, and you're available from 12 o'clock and sort of have a Friday lunch. So that's starting on Monday, 6th of November, Tuesday, 14th of November, and Friday, 17th of November. That's Perth time, so it would be 2 or 3 hours ahead of that if you're in the eastern states, depending on daylight savings. We're 3 hours at the moment, but when summer finishes, it'll be back to 2 hours. This online mastermind group is $55 a month, which is super good value when, like the coaching, which is up next. So as I was saying before, I charge $165 for a session. So the coaching sessions are delivered by phone only. I find this method best for a couple of reasons. One is that if doing a session in person or over a Zoom call, there's lots of visual distractions. But by doing it over the phone, I find it very effective to be able to really focus and engage in the process. You just close your eyes and I'm just a voice in your head as we explore whatever it is that we're talking about. I personally believe that everyone on the planet should have a coach. The process is just that powerful, and I would be lost without my coach. We take turns coaching each other. Usually one session a month is enough. But if you need a bit more intensive support, then we can do 2 sessions a month or 4 sessions a month, whatever you need. In a coaching session, we just talk. I ask questions, we focus on what you want to achieve and how to get there. When things get in the way from accomplishing that, there's always something that gets in the way, but we work through it together. It's an awesome process to be able to just take a step back and figure out what's going on in your life or in your business or even just in your own head. Then the next thing that I offer is business plans. If you don't have a business plan, then get one. I'm serious. It's absolutely essential. If you do have a business plan, when was the last time you updated it? You can get free templates from government websites to do a business plan. You can do it yourself. I love doing business plans. The ones that I do have a bit of a twist. I weave all of those permaculture ethics and principles into the framework of your business. And so for me to prepare a business plan with you, we connect with a Zoom call to get the essential details, put the bones together, and then I do my magic and flesh it out. But we meet weekly to put it together, just like 1 hour a week, so that you can continue doing your business. And then the target is to have the plan finished within 4 weeks. And as I'm preparing it and developing it, I go through it with you so that you're completely up to speed with what this business plan is developed with. The price of the business plan depends on the size of the business, but if you're a sole trader, as we have been doing this projection for, a sole trader with a annual turnover of up to $300,000 and up to 2 staff members, the price for that is $1,650 with a payment plan option available. Then The last service that I offer is sustainability assessments. This is more for mainstream businesses that are getting a bit of an environmental conscience, where they know they can do better, and the way things are going, there's a lot more pressure and a lot more attention on the impact that businesses are having on the environment. So the message that I'm sharing is that although the focus has been on governments and big polluters to take action against climate change and improve sustainability, we've been talking about the environment for 50 years now, and we're not there yet. The millions of small businesses just in Australia have a collective impact that needs to be addressed. And so that's my little soapbox. I like to get on and, tell business owners that they need to do better. So this is a process that I offer to just go through the business and find little opportunities to do just 1% better, just to start the ball rolling. This is something that you can actually download as a free template from my website and do it yourself, or you can book a session with me to go through it with you. And to do a sustainability assessment, it's a 2-hour process, and that's $297. Okay, stop sharing there. And if you're not ready for any of these, you can sign up for newsletters, monthly blog articles, make use of the free online resources like this costing and pricing worksheet, and attend these free online workshops. I hold these once a month, and I always try to focus on something that's relevant to small business that you can use in your business immediately. Okay, so now but wait, there's more. If we keep going on our projection, I just want to show you the next screen that we haven't covered yet. Oh, where did it go? Is that it? Oh, my goodness, too many screens. Here we go. So back on here, we've got this labor cost comparison. So this is a calculation that was shown to me many years ago when I was looking at being a fashion designer. This is like, if I was becoming a clothing manufacturer. But the concept is exactly the same for any business, and I've used it ever since. So in this one, we put in the hours per week and what you would pay an hourly rate. Now, the reason we're looking at this is even though you, at the moment, are in your business as a sole trader, doing the work yourself, in my opinion, the goal of running a business is to get it to a point where you can hire other people to do the work for you so that you can be the business owner and reap the rewards of putting this business together, but you don't have to do all of the work all the time. And so if that's the end goal, then you need to have your pricing structured accordingly from the start, so that when you do reach that point of needing to hire people to help you out because the business is getting bigger and you can't do it all on your own anymore, you don't want to upset your clients by having to suddenly charge more. So you charge out yourself as though you were paying yourself as an employee. Just on that, as a sole trader, you don't pay yourself wages because the tax office considers you and your business to be the one entity. You take drawings. But if you are a company, then you would hire yourself as an employee and pay wages and pay super and all of that stuff. So this costing is, if you were to employ someone, let's say we're paying them $35 an hour. That's $69,000 a year. And that's gross. That's, without tax being taken into account, plus 11% superannuation. And then you've got workers' comp. Now, superannuation is currently 11%. It'll probably go up more. It's probably 12% next year or the year after, or something like that. With workers' comp, when you're a sole trader, you don't have workers' compensation because you're not paying yourself as an employee. You would have income protection insurance, but it is necessary from the moment that you hire someone that you provide workers' compensation insurance. So that varies It depends on the industry. It depends on your claim history. It depends on so many things. It could be 3%. If you have a lot of claims, my goodness, I've seen some that are just insane. But here, for this example, 4% is good. All right, so that means with all of that, your cost, even though you're paying them $69,000 gross in wages, your actual cost is $79,000. But you're paying them $79,000, but you don't get them all the time. If we come over here to this other side, we've got the productive hours. You've got 365 days a year. Take out weekends, take out public holidays, take out annual leave, take out sick leave. These are all the legal entitlements that a full-time employee is entitled to receive. So of the 365 days, you get them for 221 days a year, 5 days a week. You've got 7.6 hours, which times 5 equals 38 hours. But you need to give them like a paid rest break every couple of hours. So really, you could typically say that you have 7 productive hours a day, 1,547 hours a year. What that means is that for your $35 an hour that you're paying them, it's costing your business $51 an hour. And that's crazy, right? So many people don't recognize just how much an employee costs them when they say, oh, I'm paying you $35 an hour, so I'll work that into my pricing that it's costing me $35 an hour. No, it's costing your business $51 an hour. So we've got your charge out rate that you're charging out for your employee, and then this is what's left. If we're going with the $75 an hour, your labor cost hire is what's left over after you pay for your employees, $23 an hour. Multiply that number by the hours per year is 29,000. So how does this compare to your projection? If we go back to the business costs, we've got business costs of 16,900. So that means, yes, okay, that's enough. If you were, we'll go back to this service offer. Let's say you're charging yourself out at $60 an hour. And then you employ someone and you get $8 an hour from the work that they do. And now remember, once you employ someone, that's not paying you anymore. That's paying them. And so you would do this exercise again when it comes time to hire someone. But you can see that if you're charging out $60 an hour, then you're not making enough. We've got $13,000 left over to cover all of the business costs. And that's not enough. You're short. And remember the water tank at the start, if you've got more going out than you have coming in, doesn't matter how big the tank is, eventually you're going to run out. So this is why it is so important to understand your numbers. And that's it. We're at 11 o'clock. Oh, I've got to wrap up very quickly. I wanted to show you, so please bear with me while I go through the rest of what I've prepared, which will just take a few more moments. Okay, so this works. Try it for yourself and see. And if you're worried about the cost of getting help, consider the cost of not getting help and not getting the help you need. If you think you can wait and figure this out later, can picture your business now and then 12 months from now of not making any changes or not doing anything to address the situation that you have now. What is that situation going to be like in 12 months or 2 years from now of not doing anything? Is that the life you dreamed of? It's not too difficult. It's easier than you may think. And the biggest obstacle that everyone faces, even me, that I'm speaking from experience, it's your own fears and negative beliefs. And that's one thing that coaching has really helped me to just eliminate. So this is your business. take control of your business, and you'll be fine. I would love to talk with you to see what else we can do. And if anything that I've shared here has been helpful to you, what else can I help you with? Is there something that we could do together? I love opportunities to be a speaker at events. I'm open to discussing all kinds of partnerships and joint ventures. As I mentioned before, I love getting on my little soapbox and telling small business owners that they need to be more sustainable, and they have a responsibility to address their impact. And, if your customers are other businesses, is there something that perhaps I can value add to your services? So I really love exploring these opportunities. There's no harm in exploring and just having a conversation. So I'm going to put into the chat box now a link to book just a one-on-one Zoom call with me. So remember what we've learned here today. Cover your personal financial needs, cover your business financial needs, allow for profit and growth, and use that spreadsheet. The numbers never lie. In 23 years of being a bookkeeper and being involved in numbers don't lie. Make sure that you're charging an appropriate amount to ensure that your target income is achievable with the hours that you have available. And if not, look at what needs to be changed to make it achievable. So now it's time to check in with you. I really would love to know how you found this experience. So I've got another link that I'm going to pop in the chat box here. This is to a feedback form. And if I'm giving you too many links and you can't get, it's okay. I'm also going to send all of these links in an email to you straight after this. But I really would very much value your feedback to help me do even better workshops like this. And let's not let this be the end of our conversation. We've only just begun. I'll send you this email with the links to booking a chat with me, to the feedback, and also a link to this spreadsheet. You may want to share it with someone that you know. Thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll send you this email in just a minute. Thanks very much. I'll see you later.